Welcome, Bronies, to another FOB Equestria Podcast. My name is Brony Joe, and today we have Plundersteed.
Hey, what's up?
Saunterhoof.
Brains.
Silvermane.
Get off my lawn!
And Scarlet Nightmare.
I'm not insane.
Alrighty, so welcome once again, everybody, to the podcast. We have two guests who are new to the podcast, one staff and one of the Fobbits, Plundersteed and Scarlet Nightmare. So you two introduce yourselves more in depth. Tell us about yourselves.
All right, well, hello, everybody. I'm Plundersteed. Those in the, I go by a couple names, but yeah, Plundersteed in the music community. So overall, I like beer, tits, rock and roll, and the magic of friendship. Yeah, so for the last year I've been playing bass and doing some backing vocals in the Brony metal band Draconiquus. You can find us on YouTube. We're working on our 6th music video now. But yeah, I've been involved in the FOB Equestria for the past year and a half. Gone to a couple conventions with them. Good time, and I'm the primary planner for FobCon. But this summer I'll be at TrotCon, FobCon, and BronyCon. So if I see you there, and I'll say hi.
I am Scarlet Nightmare. I've been in the FOB Equestria community since end of January of 2014. Before the site went down, I was just going to be a content creator for when Joe wasn't around, and I was just going to be posting for him if he couldn't. So I guess I'm just chilling out right now until the site's back up.
Alright, so we got a couple topics today. First and foremost, I want to mention the status of the website. Some of you may or may not have noticed, but it is currently down, and Saunterhoof knows more about the situation than any of us here, so let us know what the deal is, bud.
Okay, so the website's been down for a while now because we were unable to pay the hosting bill. So we basically just got to get the website back up, and we got to get the hosting taken care of. It's pretty much all set up in plan phase right now. I've pretty much been able to salvage all the important bits and pieces of the old website, so all the comments and posts should still be there. I just have to figure out how to reintegrate it into WordPress or possibly a new website that we may be building up from scratch, depending on how we want to go with it. But for right now, for the moment, we're mostly going to be still using our individual websites, like the Facebook or the Tumblr and the DA page. For the most part, if we're going to be having any updates, they're probably going to be filtered through the DA page of the Tumblr for anything that direction. That way we can still post content and there will still be communications. There's still going to be Skype chat. Skype chat's still working. Everything else is working except the main site, which plenty of the users didn't visit too much anyway, so it's not the biggest disaster in the world. But other than that, we are just going to go ahead and start working on getting it back up or possibly getting a new site going. But it's just all pretty much taken care of for the moment. We just have to execute.
All right, thank you for the update, Saunter. Some other news in the FOB Equestria world. We have a new commander. Commander Firebrand has stepped down, and now Silvermane is taking up the cusp.
Yay! So now let's all switch to Silvermane fanboys.
It's about time, too.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm glad to do this. Firebrand did an awesome job, but of course he's on to bigger and huger and more horse-famousy things. So we're going to try to get the FOB website and the different iterations of it back up to where we think it should be, and also we'll be, hopefully in the future, maybe having some more FOB-centric merchandise for sale. So be sure to stay tuned for further updates.
And for all the fanboys, don't worry. Josh is still going to be on staff creating videos.
Wait. Did you guys hear that? User has joined your channel. Hi, I'm new. Is Silvermane here?
He's not.
All right, so big things coming up with our new commander. So BronyCon is just coming up over the horizon, and we have something special planned just before the convention. FOB Equestria is going to have a little get-together down at Fort Meade, and it's going to be called FOBCon. Plundersteed, tell us about it.
All right, so FOBCon is something that we've been talking about for a couple years. It was started out as a joke. We were like, hey, we got to have our own convention with blackjack and hookers. So about 6 months ago, we decided that, maybe we can actually do this, make it a real thing. So we looked around at a couple of locations and sometimes, and we settled on something that would be on the East Coast, since the majority of FOB members tend to be on the East-ish coast area. So, long story short, I decided that this needs to happen. So made a few phone calls and got it scheduled. We got the location set up. So it is happening. We have all the locations reserved, and they're bought and paid for and secured, and it is going to happen. So it's going to be starting on 2 p.m. Wednesday, August 5th, which is the Wednesday before BronyCon, running through the following morning, 10 a.m. on Thursday, August 6th. It's at the campgrounds on Fort Meade in Maryland. It's about half an hour from downtown Baltimore. Admission is $15. Anybody who is, current military, veteran, or friends and family of anybody who's in, the FOB Equestria community. We got some guys coming from Semper Philly. So it's pretty open, but because it is on a military post, you're going to need to coordinate to get in if you don't have access, but we'll help you with that. So, we're going to have a couple kegs. The event is 18 up. Anybody who's 21 is welcome to BYOB or, enjoy some of the kegs we're bringing. We're going to have some live music. We put together a band last month called Worst Princess, and it's mostly members of FOB Equestria. We're going to do some covers of songs from the show, some original work, some mainstream covers and parodies, and a couple other odds and ends covering some stuff within the fandom. So it's mostly going to be alternative and hard rock with a few forays into other areas. But we got a couple cabins rented and a pavilion, so we're going to be be cooking out basically. So we'll be grilling and having some beer and enjoying some music, and we'll be wrapping stuff up the following morning to give people plenty of time to get into Baltimore and join the bar trot if that's what they're going to be doing. So and in the description for this video, I'll be sure to we'll include links to more detailed info. We're on Facebook, and there's a sign up sheet. So the plan is to make it easy for people to sign up and get out here so we can have a good time.
So here's a question: if we don't have a current CAT card, say we're former military, how do we get on base? Like, who do you think we should be talking to get that?
Well, there's a couple ways to do it. I'm here in Maryland now. I drove down specifically to visit Outdoor Rec and talk about this event with them. And one way to do it is we get a guest list, and 2 weeks out from the event, which is coming up soon, we send them a list of names, and basically anybody who's 15 and up will be on this list, and they'll have that list at the gate so people can show up and get a guest pass. If we only have a handful of people...
You mean 18 up?
Well, yeah, the base requires 15 and up, but this event is 18 and up because it's a party with alcohol. So, unless we have a large number of people in that boat where they don't have a CAT card and they don't have an escort, for now we're just planning to, meet them at the gate and bring them through ourselves. It seems like the simplest way to do it with a small number of people. So, right, and cool. I've run this type of event before, so it should be fine.
Cool stuff. I'm over here in Korea, so I won't be able to go, but you guys make sure to down a brew for me, all right?
Will do, man.
I can't drink.
Oh, get over it. You'll get there.
I just choose not to.
Only a few more months. October couldn't come fast enough for me.
Nightmare Night?
Yes. Scarlett, when she turns 21, that's going to be Nightmare Night.
I turned 21 before Nightmare Night, but sadly, I will not be going to Nightmare Night.
No, that's not what he means.
I don't think, you don't understand what I'm saying. When she turns 21, it is going to be a Nightmare Night.
Oh, I thought you were asking if I was going to Nightmare Night.
Because she'll have alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we were able to explain the joke. Let's all laugh fakely.
All right, let's move on to the ponies now. So, Season 5 has been going strong, and there have been tsunamis of emotions concerning a bunch of the episodes here. As of right now, it is probably my favorite season to date. One of the things, there's been a lot of talk about fan service, as we saw in the 100th episode special with the background pony Slice of Life, and especially with the last episode from last week with Princess Big Mac. So, is there some blatant fan service on, and is it good or bad?
Well, obviously there is fan service, but do I think it's bad? I actually kind of like it. I mean, some people hate it, but a lot of people just want it to be permanently season 1 where nobody knew about the fandom except for a few number of people, and with just little ponies in their little town of Ponyville, and nothing much happened. But me, I mean, it shows that Hasbro is aware of the fandom and likes to give us nods every once in a while. I mean, 2 episodes out of 103 really isn't a super lot. So as for me, I enjoyed it. It was funny. I mean, a lot of the fandom memes showed up. I never thought I'd see Princess Big Mac is actually canon in the show, and of course, we got Derpy back, so I'm happy.
Yeah, like you said, 2 or 3 episodes out of 105 now. Not bad.
I have been quite satisfied with this season so far.
I think the last time, or the first time we really saw any sort of major fan pandering was in the episode where Derpy had her first speaking lines, and that was way back in Season 2.
Yep.
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, so we've waited for almost 3 more seasons, well, except for maybe bringing Derpy back for that little cameo role in the Rainbow Falls episode. Aside from that, we hadn't really seen any sort of tip of the hat to the bronies, any sort of
Well, no, they do. They
acknowledgement
will
of us.
hide Derpy in the background sometimes in other episodes, but she's never spoke since season 2.
Yeah, having them in the background is one thing, but giving them speaking lines and making them, and especially with the 100th episode, a big part of the story, that is a big step.
They tackled a subject on this latest one, Do Ponies Dream of Electric Sheep, that, I mean, it was a fairly dark subject for a TVY show. They was actually, if you look at it, got into a little bit of, guilt and self-harm, which was really surprising to me. I never thought they'd go there and get it past Hasbro.
Even the name of the episode being a reference to Philip Dick, who writes a lot of dark stuff.
Yeah, and they did a real fine job. It was Big Jim Miller, Jason Tyson, and written by Scott Sonnenborn. So it was, I thought, very well done. A lot of people thought the ending was rushed, and it was a little bit, but they had 22 minutes to work with. And they didn't know when they were writing it that there was going to be a season hiatus. So everybody that thought, oh, it should be a 2-parter. They didn't know that when they were writing it that season 5 was going to be split.
Now, it's funny you mention it being a 2-parter.
Stupidest thing ever. I hate that they're splitting the season.
Like 3 minutes into the episode, I was watching it with Gaz, and she said, "This feels like a 2-parter," and I didn't know at the time that it was going to be the last one for the hiatus. But yeah, like they did good with the pacing, with given the constraints that they were working in.
Yeah, they've really. I think in season 5 more than the last 4, the Hasbro's kind of let the writers a little bit more freedom, maybe, than I know. They still want to put toy placement in there, and it's still for 7-year-old girls, but they've let them have a little bit more freedom, I think, this season than the last few. I'm sure there's still guidelines they have to follow, but they're kind of like, okay, do what you want, just keep it within these guidelines.
You guys notice the very toyetic part at the very beginning where they all go rainbow?
Yeah, but mercifully brief.
Thank God.
Mercifully brief.
But really, the Rainbow Power Ponies is almost a year old, or over a year old, so it's not really something they're going to relaunch. The Pony Mania is what's coming out next, and that's been almost 2 years old. And of course, there was only 2 of what was Zap and I can't remember what Applejack's name is. They were the only 2 that showed up.
Yeah, I was a little concerned there with the Rainbow Power thing, because 1 minute into the episode and I'm already laughing, and I'm thinking, oh no, is this going to be another season 3 finale?
Is this going to last forever?
Is this going to be a lot of the episode here? And thank God it was only a dream. It was just a dream.
Literally.
Figuratively and literally.
It was only just a dream.
All right. Some people have argued that fan service is bad, and I can't really remember what their arguments is, because at the end of the day, as long as Hasbro can still sell the toys, what do they care? So it's happening. Gonna take it whether you like it or not.
I gotta say that from my perspective, it's a little bit unique because I have not watched one single episode of the entire season yet. So all this crazy crap coming off of the internet with fan service and Octavia and Derpy, it's just kind of like a flood right now of just crazy nonsense. I don't even know what to say. It's just, I really should probably start watching at some point, but from the distance, nothing makes sense anymore.
Hashtag spoiler alert.
Not even tweets make sense anymore.
That was cute.
Okay, so slice of life episodes versus the adventure stories. We've seen a lot of more of like kind of a return of the just typical day in Ponyville kind of episodes that we saw a lot of in season 2, and then at the same time it's still a bit of a mix of adventuring from season 4. So what do you think they're trying to do? Have they kind of reached a point where they don't know if they want to keep doing typical days in the life or kind of go on some sort of big epic quest, or they're just kind of splitting the difference and milking it out?
Well, so far in season 5, it looks like they've kind of followed a formula where the season premiere two-parter and the season finale two-parter will both be pretty adventuresome, and then in the middle, there'd be like, 19 episodes, I think. They'll sprinkle a few adventures in with mostly slice of life. I'm looking at the schedule of season 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the series are kind of slice of life, except for the last one that we just had, and aside from the two-parter, they've been mostly slice of life. I thought there'd be more cutie map stuff, but there really has only been, one so far, I think?
There's been 2 because they did go to the Griffin Kingdom.
Yeah, but that was, I figured there'd be more, all the ponies would be going. That was just Pinky and Rainbow Dash.
I thought it was kind of interesting that it only peeled off a couple members who were relevant to what needed to be done.
Yeah, Twilight wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
No, knowledge.
What they do next.
Well, I like how they've been doing that. Like, yeah, we all love to see our favorite pony, but at the same time, you need to set aside the room to only put a few characters in the spotlight and give them time to develop character, which we really saw in the Griffinstone episode. Anybody else have anything to say? Slice of life stories versus adventure stories?
Not really. I mean, I think the balance they have now is good.
The best episode ever.
Yes, thank you, Scarlett.
I also noticed too that there's quite a few new writers in this season. I don't know how many more is going to be after the hiatus. We have like 4 or 5, it looks like, so far this year. So, Amy Keaton Rogers this is her last season because she went to Disney. M.A. Larson, I don't know how much he's going to be doing new episodes, but I think they're trying to get themselves a stable of new writers built up a little bit.
Well, with M.A. Larson, he's got an executive producer billing in the last couple episodes that I noticed. So I don't know what that means for the writing, though. I mean, does he get to provide feedback on the writing, or what? That'd be something to ask him directly.
I think on that,
and even then, he might not be able to say.
Northwest, whatever that last con he was at where they put his panel up, he said that he kind of oversees the script and general direction, but he really doesn't write them too much anymore. The last one he wrote himself was Slice of Life, so he kind of oversees the script right now. Him and Megan McCarthy, I think.
Oh, I think it's in good hands then, because if they have veto power over like just some stupid crap, then I think that's for the best, because they've been with it for a long time. They know what works and what is just gonna, dilute the brand. So I see it as a good thing.
It's almost like a reverse George Lucas. The competent person is the one in charge.
No way.
Well, there was that whole thing about M.A. Larson leaving the show, and then he came back. He was leaving, coming back. So we don't exactly know because he can't give details.
Well, he didn't really leave the show. He took a hiatus in season 4 because he had to write and promote that book. So he was, they're not really. I mean, most of these guys, except for the some of the animators, they're contractors. All the voice actors, Ingram, Emmy Larson, all these guys are contractors. They don't work for DHS. DHS calls them up and says, "We've got this script. Would you like to do it?" And they say, "Sure."
Yeah, it's not like they show up
employees.
to the office every day at 9 in the morning and they all hang out together and do their thing. It's very piecemeal the way that they do it.
The only one that actually has
apparently
an
it's like
office
they have a schedule or something.
Yeah.
Well, they hand out the scripts after they figure out what they want done to, and they go home and write them. The only one that really even has an office at DHX is Daniel Ingram, and he's still a contractor. They say, okay, give us some songs, and he does it, but he does so much work with the show, he has an office. I think it's right below where the voice actors work.
And other shows.
Oh, yeah, a lot of shows he does.
I've got to say, I'm pretty glad that Amy Keating Rogers is going to be leaving us, because I think we all know that she's a trans-misogynistic micro-racist spreading hate through children's animation.
Oh, absolutely.
I have no idea if you guys are being sarcastic or what.
Kind of like
He's being
Anderson in the
100%.
comics, huh?
I'm
He's
just like,
being
what the
100%
hell is he talking
sarcastic.
about?
Sarcasm.
If you don't know, there was that some dumbass on Twitter was calling out Amy Keating Rogers for being a cis, quote unquote, accusing her of hating on cisgenders or transgenders or something like that, and AKR was going back and forth with this idiot defending herself, and Mitch was jumping in defending her, and this person was just being social justice warrior, drank the Kool-Aid stupid.
Well,
That went on a lot
I ever
longer than I
go,
thought it would. I think at the end, Larson and Rogers was trolling him a little bit, because they just, instead of saying screw you and not talk to him, they went back and forth with him for quite a lot longer than I thought they would.
Well,
they must be new to the internet.
The issue here was that this person went ahead and apparently was offended by something that AKR had said, and this person took it as kind of like a transphobic statement, which I don't know if any of the listeners have ever met Amy Keating Rogers. This is one of the most gentile people that you're ever going to meet. She's so harmless. I think it was M.A. Larson that specifically said she doesn't have a hateful bone in her body. Like, even the stuff she was trying to say is like, I'm not transphobic because I know that there are trans people in the community that have talked to me and expressed their appreciation for the work I've done and everything else, and they've all been very happy to talk to me. You're the first person to ever accuse me of being transphobic.
So long story short, somebody was either stupid or trolling, and it just went on for way too long.
Yeah, well,
Some people just want a reason to be butthurt.
Yeah.
Well, here's one of these. I wasn't sure if Brody Joe was correct, but I'm actually looking at one of the tweets right now. In a response to Amy Keating Rogers specifically, typical white cis agenda. I'm not surprised given the episodes you write.
Troll, next.
I would love to see.
Well, if you guys remember way back in season 1, we had the same exact thing with, Celestia has white and guards near her, but only the black ponies are below her on the stairs. Round and round. It was horrible. I'm sure everybody remembers that from season 1.
I wish I could have been there.
Get the over it.
No,
Wasn't that a friendship is witchcraft thing? So that all races of ponies can worship their... I forget how they
Friendship
worded
of
it.
Witchcraft took it, but people were actually... It was that one article that got the whole thing started about how Celestia's white, she's a white overload of all the colored ponies. It was so ridiculous.
That's awesome.
It was episode 3 that had that attack on Rainbow Dash specifically, and said that Lauren Faust had created a walking lesbian stereotype with Rainbow Dash, and her response was, "It's a pony." It does.
She said Rainbow Dash has never explored pony sexuality at all of any form.
I need a Rainbow Dash
girls.
soundboard so I can have her say, "Yep, it's all true."
I can find that. I can find that, but then we can't monetize the podcast.
No, you need the one of Applejack saying, "Yep, it's true."
Yep, it's true.
She cries on
the inside, Twilight.
All right, so, speaking of that person on Twitter, state of the fandom health. This person is probably going to leave, and hopefully so, because they're the kind of people we don't really need in the fandom. But if you ask me, I think it's come to the point where the hipster bronies, the people who are doing it because it was cool and new and edgy, they're kind of leaving, and the people who still
Kinda
stick around
leaving.
because, well, they are leaving. And
I'm sorry, I haven't seen any since like 2013.
No, they're kind of gone from the fandom. People still wear fedoras, but it's not really the hipsters that much anymore.
Even when that documentary came out talking about the hipsters, it was kind of obsolete because even by then they were gone.
Speaking of documentaries, Claire Corlett made a mini documentary. I don't know if you saw it yet.
Not yet. I've
Yeah.
watched most of her stuff, and it's okay.
only like 30 minutes long, though.
That's cool. I mean, most of her stuff it's all right. She's a little bit spastic, but it's not bad.
one by one, we've been seeing the haters and fakers leaving. Not too recently, and this was apparently a big deal, not for me because I didn't really care, never heard of the guy, but apparently Tommy Oliver left the fandom. Not
Again?
sure. Yeah, not sure if even this was the first time he'd done it, or if this is...
No,
You know,
it's
I've
not.
been following him for about a year. His analysis was pretty good, but in his rant when he left, he made nothing but good points. So, best of
He
luck
did?
with whatever he does now.
He did, but I just couldn't take him seriously because he would just take those occasional pauses and slurp up some Baja Blast.
Yeah, that was distracting.
And I mean, literally just...
so much Mountain Dew. I was like, are they sponsoring this? What's going on?
Yeah, Tommy's left, Digi's left. What was this? There's another one that's left. So we've lost a few, but we've gained a few analysts recently
And
too.
I don't blame Tommy because he's right. It's like, why should I have to warn people? People don't watch, these things for thoughtful commentary. They watch it for validation, and that.
Yeah, I did kind of agree with some of the stuff too. Like, for whatever reason, I watched that video. Wasn't even sure what I was watching. Someone just linked it in a Skype group, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And just kind of had it on in the background, and then it's like, it's like you don't really listen at first, but then you actually wind up hearing them, and you're like, "Wait, wow, he's actually right. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Why have I never listened to this person before?"
So aside from the Mountain Dew, I thought it was as good a way as any to go out.
Yeah,
I remember him way
definitely.
back when he was still, what was it, Brony Curious, I think. Yeah, I've met him at, BronyCon, I think, twice.
You know what though? After his peace out rant, I watched him like the next video he did. It was him talking about Godzilla with his dad for like 45 minutes, and you could tell right off the bat that he was just having more fun talking about something different. So, I guess that's all that really matters.
Well, people aren't going to stay in the fandom forever. Look at all the musicians that have left in the last few years.
Well, now wait a minute. Silver, you and I both know we're not leaving the fandom, right?
Well, I'm not anyway.
Well, obviously. So that's two.
But I'm not a musician either, or an analyst. All we got is Josh Senpai right now.
But no, Silver's been in it for like 20-something years. The man's not gonna end.
What?
Haven't you been, like, a fan of My Little Pony since, like, the freaking beginning, like, back in the 80s?
I knew of it, but I really wasn't a fan of this generation until early 2011. I mean, I was really into the Star Wars fandom since the 80s. I went to conventions and ran them and did all that stuff for years, and then somebody...
Nerd!
Yeah, I know, right? Somebody at work said, "Oh, you write newsletters, there's this thing out that everybody's watching." I said, "What, those ponies with the little bows in their tails? Gross." And then I watched, I think the first Nightmare Moon, season 1, episode 2. I'm like, this is awesome. Of course, I knew already who Jason Thyssen and Woody Wooten and Lauren Faust and Rob Renzetti and all them were. And I thought, man, all these people are on one show. It's got to be great. And then I've been stuck with it ever since.
I got to interrupt and make sure, just to be sure about this, Silver, how completely fucking psyched are you about the new Star Wars movie?
I'm psyched about it, and then I'm kind of worried because Disney has it. I mean, I've watched those 30-minute react videos to the people have actually made 30-minute reacts and analysts of that little 3-minute trailer they did, where they show the Millennium Falcon right at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I want to see it, but I'm still scared because I'm burnt. I got burnt so bad by the 3 prequels, and also because Disney has it. I don't know how much George has as far as oversight, but it's Disney. I'm kind of worried. We'll have to see what happens.
Did you see the React video with Francis? You know, the big fat angry guy with the Xbox.
Oh
No,
God!
but I saw the one with Mr.
No,
Lincoln
I
from Red
haven't.
Letter Media.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
great.
I was just gonna say that's my fear, and this was meant from the Red Letter Media review about it, is that the movie is going to be too good, and everybody's going to get Marvelitis and look on the original Star Wars trilogy as like dull and boring.
Wait, are you saying people are worried it's going to be too good?
Some people are, yeah, like
Man.
too good as in too flashy and explosive and
Ah,
action.
what a travesty. If it's just...
Actually, the next one's coming out, the one I'm waiting for, because it's got, I think, a better writer than this one does. We'll just have to wait and see.
Episode 8?
Hey, keep in mind,
Episode 8.
we are in a generation of people who enjoy the Transformers movies. People are that dumb.
I enjoyed the Transformers movies just because they're so stupid and over the top and ridiculous.
I
I mean, like,
enjoyed the first two
a
Transformers.
Camaro can turn into a 5-story tall robot. Okay, next.
Okay, best episode of the season. Yes, we know, Scarlett. Yours is Slice of Life.
Well, let me do this real quick for everybody then. I'm going to give everybody a quick recap of all the episodes in Season 5 so you won't forget one. So it'll only take a second. Cutie Map Part 1, Part 2, Castle Sweet Castle, Boom and Gloom, Tanks for the Memories, Appaloosa's Most Wanted, Make New Friends But Keep Discord, Treasure of Griffinstone, Slice of Life, Princess Spike, Party Poop to Mending Fences, and Do Princesses Dream of a Magic Sheep. Mine would be a tie between Princesses and Tanks for the Memories.
To be all honest, it's a tie between Slice of Life and Make New Friends and Keep Discord.
I really liked Amending Fences. Also, yeah, I can't not say Slice of Life. And, of course, the worst one so far is Princess Spike.
I'd have to agree. I was hoping for better than, I didn't want another Spike at your service. That's almost what we got.
That's basically what it was. I
Yeah,
saw
it
the
kinda
title
was.
Princess Spike and I was like, oh my god, no.
Yeah,
No. Princess Spike wasn't that bad. At least they gave us Fargo Pony.
Yeah, and if you look at it, what it is was a rip on conventions. I mean, the whole thing was just a big parody of conventions.
I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, you're right. Even still, it didn't do much to salvage it.
No, and
Yeah,
the premise
you
So
are
the moral of the
correct.
story is conventions are awful. You should never go to one. You should never plan one. It's going to be a terrible experience.
I'd still say the worst for me is Appaloosa's Most Wanted.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad too.
Jim Miller had a funny comment on it because he voiced Clyde Troubleshoes. He said it was funny to do, but he said, I can't stand listening to it. So
Oh,
I
that was
guess-
like a full minute of just terrible slapstick that just was not
Yeah.
funny.
But, the
It's-
two I
that's the
mentioned are
worst
the
feeling.
best episodes. My favorite would have to be, Slice Life, just because Octavia speaks in it.
And Vinyl doesn't.
I don't know if she's ever going to speak. It's
Oh.
like AJ's parents. Are they ever going to show them?
I have this theory about Vinyl where she actually is voiced by Noaking, but if you've met her, you'll know that nothing she says is permitted on that entire network. So she does all the lines, she ad-libs most of it, and they just have to cut all of it out. So
Aw.
she is the voice actress. We can't hear it.
Dude, No Whacking
Damn
is the
censors.
sweetest person ever.
So what?
She is. I've met her before.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
she's
I
such a
got
potty
to
mouth. I
lunch
love it.
with her last year.
On Saturday night, she had a party in her room, and a few of us were there, and just the stories that girl tells. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
because she's been around. I've got a flyer from the very first BronyCon, and she's on there as Jessie Nowak. So she's been around since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when she had lunch with us, she most kind-hearted person ever. She called up one of our other members of the FOB, Babu, and just talked to her for a good 5 minutes. I actually have this recorded. And Babu called me up later that night and said she was in tears. Like, happy tears.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that video. Yeah, it was nice for her.
I never see that one. The nicest person I've met as far as the actual show staff would probably have to be, the one that does Zakora, Brenda Cricklow. She is probably the nicest person I've met on a show so far.
Critchlow, she's really nice, yeah.
And she's a hugger, too.
Yeah, she is.
The only person from the staff I have met was Daniel Ingram, and he was pretty cool too.
Ingrid Nielsen's really nice too. And
I never met her.
I think it's safe to say that just about everybody who works on the show is nice.
Hey, seriously though, on a podcast, who's going to come out and say, nah, this person's an asshole?
I'd totally do that.
Ashley Ball. I was going to say caveat. Ashley Ball, not crazy about the whole brony thing.
As far as, all the butt hurtiness and everything, it's Vincent Tong. If you ever hang out with him, the guy that does Flash, he thinks it's the funniest thing ever.
Dude, okay, I have a tweet from Vincent Tong. I'm at BronyCon. I'll be cosplaying as Flash Sentry alongside my boyfriend, who is Miche. He's going to be cosplaying as Sunset Shimmer. And I actually tweeted my cosplay out to Vincent Tong and M.A. Larson and got retweets and replies for them. Freaking best day online ever.
I can't remember what con, it might have been Fiesta Equestria, and I was talking to Vincent, and he was doing like a parody riff on butthurt bronies who's got his wife who's stolen. He had everybody in the room rolling. It was just some impromptu thing he did.
Yeah, Flash is basically the Wesley of this franchise, and it's cool that he understands that going into it. That's awesome.
Yeah, best waifu stealer.
He's worse than he's much worse than Wesley. Like Flash Sentry, he's still a douchebag from the first.
At least so far, he's only been like. At least he's only been in the first two movies.
There was a part of Slice of Life they cut out for time constraints that was going to have Flash Sentry in it.
Say what? Slice of Life?
Mitch was talking about it on his deal about how they wrote Slice of Life. They had
so
much stuff in there, they had to cut some out. One of them was going to be Flash Sentry following behind Shining Armor saying, "How come no pony likes me?" And they had to cut it out.
Wow.
Dude, for Slice of Life at MLP, MSP, Spangle was telling me that in the original script, Vinyl was supposed to talk, but they cut it because they knew it would be death number 666 to the fandom.
I think people would live through it if it wasn't no whacking.
It was a good call, though. I mean, that's part of her charm. She doesn't talk, so it works.
Okay, back on tracks. So yeah, Scarlet, favorite episode?
It's a tie. It's a tie with Slice of Life and Make New Friends, Keep Discord.
Saunter, your input?
Oh,
you hadn't watched any of them.
I like the one where Lyra goes and uses those bags of sand.
I'll take shit that never happened for 500, Alex.
Who the f*** is Lyra?
Oh, wow.
Go home, scrub, you're casual.
Your white belt is showing.
I don't even know what that reference is.
Yeah, for me, the neckbeard, fedora-wearing, fanfic-writing brony inside me is going to have to go with Slice of Life because of all the fan pandering. But then when I step back and look at like actual quality of character and originality and story, I'm going to have to go with the season opener. And not just because it was long, and that length kind of helped the story work, but it took a little bit of a darker turn. Like we saw almost pretty much communism and having a plan to take over all of Equestria. And that one was just so entertaining to watch, at least up until the end when it started to get a little silly and you had the guy with the balloons who's like making nipple binoculars and masturbating out a bridge.
What the fuck is going on?
Have you ever...
That was, he's talking about party favor.
On the upside, airdrop saved the day, so I'll just leave that there.
Swag.
What? What is going on with communist takeovers and nipple balloons?
Watch the damn episodes. They're on YouTube, you filthy casual.
I'm scared now.
Saunter, hold on. BronyCon, you're coming to my hotel room with Michelle and I and a bunch of other people, and we're watching all of the movies and all the recent episodes.
Okay, there's 13 episodes. You can watch it in like 4 hours. Done.
I'll just watch them on the drive movies. There.
There you go.
Well, that's going to be kind of hard because I have a manual, and I'll be driving.
Okay, don't do that.
Wait until the hotel room
while you're driving.
Hey, how about you watch all the episodes while you're standing in line for registration? Oh, wait, no, that was 2013.
Saunter, you driving while watching movies, it's people like you doing things like that that are the reason we have to have safety briefs.
Did you know I only drive at 55 miles an hour just to piss you off specifically?
That reminds me, everybody needs to bring the
You're
reflective belt to
one of
FobCon.
those.
He drove to his hometown.
And you're one of those people who make me and Mache flip them off on the interstate and highway.
Wow. Where were we?
Blender, best episode, or did you already share that?
Yeah, I mentioned it. I like Slice of Life, but basically for the same reasons. I'll say Amending Fences was my favorite from a writing standpoint.
That breakdown at the end was pretty amazing on Mending Fence, I gotta say. It's something you don't expect to see on a little kid show like that.
Also, yeah, Dancer totally had a crush on Twy.
Yeah, she'd even had her mane the same.
Yeah. That was cute, but sad, but cute.
All right, so we're going to talk about one more topic here, and because we've been going on for a while now, desires for Season 6.
And boy, do I have some.
Silver's rolling out.
So many.
Sea ponies? Sea ponies?
No, somebody just tweeted about that. I think it was Mitch or... either it was Mitch or Jim, no, it was Jim Miller. He said, there will be sea ponies in the show when the ice caps melt, which means never. And I was like, woohoo!
Shoo-ba-doop.
It's a dream come true for you.
My desires for Season 6 are basically the same as I had for Season 5. I want to know about AJ's parents. Are they alive? Are they dead? Where are they? I want to know about Scootaloo's parents. Is she an orphan? My headcanon is she lives with Cherry Lee. I'd like to know about Fluttershy's parents that they never talk about. Mm-hmm. Also, give us some closure on whether or not Scootaloo will ever be able to fly.
You seem
Nice.
very concerned about people's parents. Where are your parents?
Well,
Where are your parents?
you've seen
Where are your parents?
rarities.
Where are your parents? Where are your parents?
I need an adult.
That's a rather
We've seen rarities.
insensitive
We've
question.
seen Rainbow Dashes. We've seen Twilight. But like Fluttershy never talks about it. She fell out of the clouds and boom, she's been in Ponyville ever since. Scootaloo, don't have a clue what's up with her. We saw her room once. That was about it.
At the orphanarium.
Maybe Pegasus ponies are just shat out of clouds, and if some feel like it, they take them up as their children.
They're like birds. If they fall out, then they're just written off.
Here's another thing. If you think about Generation 3, which I can't even believe I'm saying this, Scootaloo is Cheerly's sister.
I know, and they look totally different, but, I mean, Fluttershy didn't fall out of the clouds when she was just born. She was probably, human years 6 or 7?
She was
probably
learning how to fly, so from a bird standpoint, yeah, she's learning how to fly. She fell out of the nest. Oh, well.
You realize that's not how birds work, right?
Close enough. She fell out of the nest. Nobody ever went to look for her.
That's just not how birds work, though.
Raised by butterflies. She's kind of like Tarzan.
Damn it, Jim.
There you go.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a physicist, not a biologist.
She's like Tarzan. It just lives,
or even better, George is a jungle.
on her own.
As long as it's not the Brendan
With
Fraser.
significantly less
Of course,
Jabba.
Brendan Fraser. Who else?
The original animated
Wow.
cartoon was a million times funnier.
So, long story short, I think Silver's wish list for Season 6 is basically like SpongeBob's list of things he wants to do. He just rolls out the door.
Yeah, I know what it was I wanted to know. Give us some closure about Rainbow Dash and the Wonderbolts, please.
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off, too. It's been going on since Season, one, basically.
3.
Then they brought in
Yeah,
that
she
weird
officially did stuff.
Wonderbolt Reserves thing, and they never did tell what the heck that was about.
Right, it's like, yay, congratulations, you're going to have this nebulous thing that we're not going to describe to anyone.
Ever, yeah.
See, it really is like the reserves. No one except for the people in it.
Nobody understands it. You never see them.
But apparently they can rescue
Except for one weekend
Pinkie
a month.
Pie from a gorge and take her to Manhattan.
Yeah, I suppose. And, of course, when they try and, do something important like fighting a dragon, they get their ass kicked.
Womp womp.
That was great. I like how Spike just kicked their ass, in 3 seconds flat.
Well, but he knows their secrets. He lives.
And then when they get out, they just look around and strike a heroic pose and fly off into the sunset.
They're like, well, we ran out of duty day. Time for crew rest. See ya.
Yeah, screw
Sorry,
it. My leaves
that joke might be a bit nuanced.
Only to non-Air Force people.
Yeah.
You know what? F*** this. I got a DA-31. I'm out.
I'm on profile. Can't do it. Was there anything you wanted to add to that list, Silver?
No, that's it. Like I said, I really don't want to see any more of the ponies become alicorns. I know there's eventually we're going to have Princess Skyla with shining armor cadence, but I'm not in a hurry to see that. Just the things I've been wanting since season 3, really. And
we've had enough alicorns because of Princess Big Mac now. We had our alicorn fill for the season. We're good.
Also, there's an alicorn that nobody ever talks about in Hearts and Hooves Day when they had that book with the spell in it. And they're talking about the prince and the princess from the past.
Yeah,
alicorn
and then there was a dragon, something about eternal night.
Princess
I'm guessing it was Luna and Celestia's parents.
We should have been watching that episode. Also, the one that was flying in the Rarity's key episode.
Rarity Takes Manhattan in the back.
Yeah. Of course, they dismissed it as a. They dismissed that as a animation error.
There's also one in when Twilight goes back to Magic Kindergarten, and they call that one Princess Auroria.
Really?
Yeah, if you look in the classroom, it's on the left-hand side. I think there's an alicorn there.
I'd have to watch that. It's going back to season 2. I'd have to watch that.
Oh. Yep, there's one in the classroom. When Twilight's all big and huge and sitting in the front looking embarrassed, there's an alicorn in the class.
Cool story, bro.
I think my wish, Plunder Stage wish list for season 6.
Go.
Rarity goes away forever.
All right,
No, come on.
Nah, she's actually probably my favorite. I want to see Celestia episode though, whether it's like set in the current timeline or a flashback. I think it's overdue because in the comics she gets a fair amount of screen time where she's an interesting character and she does stuff and she has character development. But in the show she's always either only briefly there or she's just kind of in the background somewhere.
That comic arc they did where Celestia was sneaking over to see Sombra as she was young and Star Swirl put a stop to it. That was a really cool story arc.
That might have been my favorite arc they've done yet.
Now that you mention it, that's something I would actually like to see in the future is Star Swirl the Bearded.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say that.
Yeah, because he shows up in the comics at least he's mentioned or he shows up directly. They actually show him in that arc with Sombra as well as the origin story for the Changelings, which might be complete bullshit that Chrysalis just put out there for misinformation, or it might be true. We don't know.
I want to say something specifically about Star Swirl. I think that needs to be voiced by Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Excuse
I'm not
you,
going to disagree with
Ian
that.
McKellen.
Absolutely.
I agree. I concur.
And then they need to have some sort of conversation with Discord where it's like a nod to Star Trek.
Exactly.
Oh God, yes.
Brilliant.
I'm sorry. To me, Star Swirl would need to be voiced by Ian McKellen because motherfucker Gandalf.
That would work
Ian
too.
McKellen?
Yes. I'm sorry if I got his last name wrong.
He would work too.
He was also Magneto, right?
Yes, motherfucking Magneto.
Hugo Weaving
Yeah,
might
we
be
could get,
interesting.
if a convention could get Patrick Stewart and John Delancey to riff on each other on stage, that would be amazing.
That'd be.
They've actually
That'd
had
be
that
pretty-
in the past before at some Comic-Cons.
Yeah, it might have been Comic-Con, but I
I'd
know
see
that
that.
Stewart's never been to a pony show before.
That'd be a first
That
for
would-
him.
That would be worth the cost of admission just by itself.
All right, anybody else? Desires, dreams?
My dream list is, of course, my number one is I want to know more about Star Swirl the Bearded. I would also like a episode about, Shining Armor and Cadence actually having a kid. And I want more Flash Sentry, God damn it.
All right, you all heard it. She wants to see Shining Armor give Cadence a kid.
There was a Skyla
Yes,
toy
I
a
do.
couple years ago. I got it sitting on the shelf, so they're planning on something eventually.
Yeah, that toy's been out for like 3 years.
I have a feeling they're probably trolling us, but I would like to see Sea Ponies and more Flash
No.
Sentry.
Just go all in and
Sea
see
Ponies would be
Pony
funny.
Flash Sentry.
Sea Ponies would be funny only because I know that Silvermane, it would drive him nuts, and so
It would drive me nuts.
And so I could just point and laugh at him, and like, you're upset.
That's how it's going to happen. Flash is
You
going
mad,
to
bro?
Flash is going to confess his love and then say, "But I must return to my people." Shoo-be-doop, shoop-shoo-be-doop, and then he leaves forever. That's it.
I'm so lonely, girl. Feeling sad and down.
No, he's more like Ariel. I want to be where the ponies are.
Nah, he's a gay fish.
Wow. Shut down.
Fish. Making love to other gay fish. Oh, thank you, South Park. Yeah.
Do you like fish sticks?
Scarlett, we moved on. Things I would like to see for things I'd like to see for season 6. And maybe this is just because I'm so lazy and not give a crap about anything, but just don't make the episodes like season 3, and I'll be happy, honestly.
You mean like the whole season, or what?
Like, it just... Alright, here, just kind of put it in a little something easier to understand. Like Appaloosa's Most Wanted, where they were trying to be funny and not being funny. Don't do that. And you can put whatever you want in there, and I'll be good.
I really thought one of the Cutie Mark Crusaders was going to get their cutie mark in Appaloosa's Most Wanted, but it didn't happen.
That's never going to happen.
Judging from the fan fiction,
It's
I
got
don't
to
think
happen
you want to see.
eventually.
It's going to happen in the movie. That's going
That's
to end
actually
it all.
another desire I want. I want to see who gets their cutie mark first.
Oh, I'd also like to see a pony movie that's actually ponies.
That is
2017.
happening, dude. That's in the
2017.
works.
Good,
That's
because
going to be
that's
the
why I
4th
haven't.
movie, but it will happen.
Because that's why I
Yeah, in
haven't been
fact,
watching
Mike
Horse
Vogel
Girls.
is working on that full time. He's kind of quit his day-to-day pony job, and he's working on the movie. They've hired a
No shit.
big-name writer, and apparently they're going all out for it. That whole thing that it was on the internet a few weeks ago about Guardians of Harmony, that might have been a leaked theme for the movie. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I've heard the working title is Future Sins.
Yeah, because that's why.
Well,
That's
then you
why I
passed
haven't
it, they
been.
could bring in Nix, and she's adorably cute, so I'd be all right with that.
Oh, I was trying to troll, but it fell flat. Sorry.
Sorry.
Speaking of
That's why I
Equestria
haven't
Girls,
been watching. That's why I haven't been watching the Horse Girls movies, because I like my ponies as ponies and not Bratz dolls. So you.
Well, the
Well,
second
you know,
one's pretty awesome.
Equestria Girls, they did release the trailer for the 3rd installment of it.
I know.
Yeah.
And then everybody
I could never
saw
get into them that much.
Dash with her arm around AJ, and they're like, "What is happening here?"
I mean, the premise of the first one was so dumb. I mean, come on, Sunset Shimmer's going to take over Equestria with her teenage zombie army. Give me a break.
Yeah, the first one kind of sucked. The second one made it a lot better, though. Everything from the characters to the story was way
The third one
better.
is going to be 70 minutes. It's going to be direct to video, so that'll probably be the last Equestria Girls one.
Well, the first one was direct to video.
No,
it
no,
was
I
out in
saw
theaters.
both
I
of
went
them.
and saw it.
Yeah, I saw both in the theater, and I don't really care if it's direct-to-video. I don't think it'll affect the quality at all. In fact, they probably
Really?
lost
I
money
did not
on
know
the
that the
theatrical
first
release.
one was in theaters.
It
Now
was
you know.
in very limited release. Like in the whole state of Texas, it was shown in one theater.
Yeah, I had to drive an hour to get to it.
Me
Same
too. I had
here.
to drive all the way to Oklahoma City.
And when I saw them,
And it was only
both
for like
times,
a week, I think.
yeah, both
I
times
thought
that
you
I
lived-
saw the movies, they were not in big cities. They were like in like little places out of the way.
I thought you lived closer to Tulsa.
The
What?
only place where I could see the second movie in theaters if I wanted to was Richmond. Otherwise, you'd have to go north up to like the DC area.
Oh, what else we got?
I've got a bail here in a minute, but other than that, I'm about
Yeah.
done.
All right, that takes care of everything we have to talk about for tonight. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. One thing I wanted to have at the end here, give a special shout out to our group member Waffleberry. He has recently been injured while out in the line of duty, so we want to wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully nothing will be permanently broken, and he'll be back on his feet in no time. So, once again, thank you for joining us. This is FOB Equestria signing off. Semper
Oh.
Philly.
Sorry, one last thing. Yeah, big shout out. Cardwin Magni has offered to sponsor a keg for FobCon, so it's greatly appreciated. Thanks for the help.
Okay. now-
Awesome. All right, this is Silvermane, FOB Equestria, signing off. And always remember, Fluttershy's best pony.
Good night, everybody, and Waffle, please get well soon.